Hey guys, what's up? Alex here from Heckman Productions, and welcome to episode 4 of my Road to Anaheim 1 series here in MX Simulator. This episode I'm going to be sharing another fun race I did with you guys about a week ago or so from recording this, and I'm going to be kind of talking to you guys about the race a little bit, but it won't be a full race analysis like the last one was. This one is going to be more of me kind of just talking about how I'm doing with the game and kind of how I handled this race. I felt like I did a pretty good job. You can see I'm way on the outside here. I barely made it in through the LCQ after an absolutely terrible heat race. So this race was actually really fun. I didn't obviously get a very good start, so I kind of was just focusing on trying to avoid people, avoid the chaos. It's kind of one of my goals for this season, is to avoid the chaos and to be able to limit my mistakes. At this point I was kind of just trying to avoid people, thought I was going over the bars there. And at this point, if you can make it through the first section without crashing, you're probably going to be near the top 10, and that was the case with me here. This track was a little challenging in some spots. The rhythm sections were pretty straightforward. As long as you could get the main triple at the beginning, you were pretty good. But the most challenging part of this track was the whoops. It was weird how they faced you right into the jump of this double-double, and it would kick you weird sometimes and you wouldn't really even be able to control it. So trying to adapt to that mid-race, and it bit me a few times, there wasn't really anything I could do about it just because it pitched you so weird, especially as the track eroded more. But I felt like I rode fairly decent. Like, I anticipated that pass there. I was playing with Ethan again, so he was kind of spotting for me a little bit. But that pass I anticipated because I heard him right on me. See, I was keeping it really close to him. So my racing sense is kind of coming back when I'm doing these races. I'm kind of more like aware of the people around me and what they're doing. So I'm kind of trying to think like they would to know what they're doing. And it's just after not racing for a while, I don't have as much practice with that, and it's kind of hasn't allowed me to race very well. So these practice races have been a huge help in developing my just racecraft after being gone. See there, I missed that inside rut, so I just kind of had to hit the line slower, and it worked out okay. And there are a couple people in this race that I knew had more speed than me, but I thought maybe see right here is one of those times the whoops catch me out. I got a weird bounce coming out, and I actually collected like 5 or 6 people from this crash, so I really didn't lose that many spots from it. Just 4 spots by the looks of it, which usually if you crash on opening laps, you lose way more than that. So it kind of worked out in my favor that I grabbed a bunch of people with me. But yeah, that whoop section, it was so weird. Like, if you get a weird kick off the last whoop, it would kick you into the face of the jump, and then you wouldn't be able to do the jump right, and you'd die. So it's kind of a struggle that I had throughout this race. But like I was saying before, these fun races have been such a help to me. First of all, because I was able to ride with a road. Now, usually I don't ride with a road because just having one person making ruts doesn't really work all that well. Like, it just isn't the same. The only way to get the proper training and practice on is a good cut under move right there. The only way to get like proper practice on ruts is by doing races like this with a full gate with faster people. So it was cool to get this practice in, especially these few fun races I did. If you're watching this race here, this is one of the crazy parts where it was like a constant train of people that I was in. If you look like, well, there's another crash. This was probably the low point of the race. But there were many times during this race where it was just trains of riders together. And if you make a mistake, you're gonna lose 5-6 spots. And it was really cool to be a part of that battle. It was actually really fun. But yeah, so I don't know if many people from the channel know, but I actually stopped racing like professionally. It would have been 2018 is when I stopped, I believe. Yeah, it would have been 2018. I took an entire year off from it just because my work schedule didn't work out. I wasn't able to do the races. And I believe that was the first year they started doing a road. so I didn't really have a whole lot of practice with the road. I did the 29s, or the 2019 Supercross season. I did most of those races, not all of them, but most of them, and I did okay. I ended up earning national number 69 just based on that. I didn't do outdoors at all, so I did okay. But that was really the only practice I had with races and using a road. This past year I did some races, but I didn't really put proper effort into it. I just kind of signed up and didn't really play or practice much beforehand. And as a result, I only made like 1 or 2 main events this whole season, so I obviously want to do better than that. So that's kind of why I wanted to make sure I took time to be better this season. So I think one of the big things that I needed from these practice races was just working on my consistency, because when I did qualifying for these few races that I did, I just did like I would play for maybe an hour or so to try to get my lap time, and maybe just do that a couple times or something, and it might not even been that long, just a session here and there. But for me, really, to get into the groove, I have to play the game for at least an hour, and I don't really have much time during the week to do that except for the race night. So, but like I was saying, the benefits of this was seeing if I could be consistent and run those smooth lines, because in the qualifying it was a struggle for me to get clean laps. Like the lap time you see right there is my last lap. The 1:15.0 was actually the fastest lap I'd ever put down on this track. In qualifying, I think I got 1 clean lap on this track, and it was a 1:16.2. So I really wanted to see if I could just keep myself off the ground. That was the main goal of these, because that's one of my big downfalls in the professional racing, is just crashing. So I wouldn't say that this was the best example of me not crashing, because I definitely still crashed quite a bit in the beginning there. It just worked out that other people were struggling with the track like I was, so I was able to still stay in the thick of things. And if you look at the map right now, it's still a pretty tight group. Like, first place is way gone, but I believe the rider up here is third, and so it was third, fourth, fifth, or that must be fourth, I'm sorry. Third must be right here, and then fourth, fifth, sixth, and then I'm in seventh. So like from third back to like 10th was all pretty close. It really didn't get that spread out. So it was cool to be able to battle with people, because a lot of times the races will happen and everybody gets spread out, and that probably is what it's going to be like in RF. But my goal is to avoid those first few crashes in the beginning and be able to just stay up and stay with the people, because no matter what happens, there's always going to be first turn crash. I thought I was going to crash here. There's either going to be a first turn crash, second turn crash, or first rhythm section crash, or even a first whoop section crash. So there's always going to be crashing on the first lap in almost every race. That's just how it ends up working out. So if I can avoid being a part of that, then that will instantly put me ahead of maybe 5-6 people at the very least. So that's really the big goal. And these races have given me gate drops with other people that are good at starts. And that's another thing I've kind of worked on, is trying to improve my starts on a 250. I always used to be a really good starter on the 450s. I don't know what it was that I did, but I could always get close to the front off the start. I anticipated that inside line as well from that pass. Like I said, my racecraft is getting a little bit better. But I was kind of working on, and I got hit there, I was kind of working on my techniques to try to improve my start technique on a 250. In this race, actually, I felt like I did fairly decent. This race, this main event, wasn't a great example of that, just because I was so far outside. I wasn't able to get a good jump, and I kind of flinched at the gate too. But in my other races, in the open class, I actually got decent starts. I think in the open main event, I was up to second place at one point, and then somebody jumped and landed on me, and I went back to like 10th, and then I wasn't able to find a flow. So that's why I didn't record that race, because it didn't work out that well. It's kind of frustrating sometimes how when you get a good start and you aren't able to do something with it, but then some of your best finishes come with you moving through the pack, whereas on those races, you feel like if you would have started up front, you could have fought for the win, but you never really know. So at this point, I'm in 8th place. We're about 10 minutes into the race, and this rhythm section right here, I believe this was crazy, because you have 4 people here, all for position, and even the person up there is for position as well. So as I saw all these people around each other, I just started doubling through rhythm sections, was taking it easy. I actually got past there, but then those 3 people went down, so I was able to gain 3 spots there. And then after I went by those people, I was trying to focus on getting by the 707 guy who cased this triple here, and I was able to complete that pass. So I got up to 4th place just from taking my time and working my way through those people. So that was really cool that I was able to do that, because in the past I'd try to like triple by them all and just be done with it, but it's not the wisest way to do things. So if you're looking at the map now, you can see 3rd place is right there in front of me, a couple seconds out, and then it's me, and then it's like just a steady train of riders, just a small gap after like 7th or 8th or whatever that is. And 1st place is way gone. I don't know if they crashed once. I'm not even sure who it was. But 1st and 2nd were pretty much gone from the get-go. So like if I can get a decent start, like top 5, and then not crash and not throw it away, I feel like I could battle up there, at least in one of these fun races. An RF race has a deeper competition, and obviously it's a little more difficult to avoid people when everybody's going really fast. So. But anyways, these fun races were such a great help for that, like getting myself in the right mindset and whatnot. I also used to be one of those people that I would always have to race by myself. Like I wouldn't be able to be in Discord or TeamSpeak talking to people, or else I would screw up, I'd get distracted. And I feel like racing with Ethan in Discord with me has actually worked out okay. Like I don't get distracted like I used to. I mean, there's maybe been 1 or 2 times where I get caught up in our conversation, but usually in a main event, he doesn't really start conversations that are serious because he knows I'm focusing. So just being able to talk through things and still joke about stuff and kind of like ask who's who and where are people, it's actually been kind of nice, and that really hasn't affected me much as far as racing goes in these fun races. So I think I'll probably try to be in Discord with people for the RF races as well, as long as like Ethan keeps racing, which I think he is. He's actually getting really fast. As a side note, we used to be pretty close in speed, but I would usually be able to get him on consistency. But now he is just absolutely past me. He should be doing pretty good in 450 class this year. That was a sketchy spot right there. I probably shouldn't have went for that jump still, and then I almost go over the bars. I think it was at this point, as I got up to 4th place, I looked at the time and I was like, holy crap, I'm already 11, 12 minutes into this race. I just need to hold on now. I didn't realize how far into the race we were already. Like the race felt like it had barely started, just because like a lot had been going on, but usually that doesn't happen later into the race. Like I'm used to it being calm and spread out by the 10-minute mark. So it was kind of different, and I was like, wow, I can actually hold on for a top 5 position here. And I was thinking about maybe I was trying to make a push to 3rd. I was riding pretty decent, but we were kind of like matching each other. He would make a little mistake here or there, I would make a little mistake here or there, and then I wouldn't really end up gaining much time. I feel like this is probably the closest I was to him. But I also had somebody right behind me, and I could hear him, so I was kind of stuck in that sandwich. I saw him make a mistake there, so I knew he wouldn't be able to triple, and then I overjumped it, so I wasn't able to do it. So we both made mistakes in this rhythm section, and I wasn't able to make anything happen. And then I got past here. I was afraid of getting hit. I didn't want to get taken out. And it was Joseph Pilsner, I believe, so he's a pretty nice guy. If I would have known it was him, I wouldn't have been so scared. But at this point, I'm in 5th. I kind of glanced at the map. I realized that everybody that was in that train has kind of fallen off, so I had about a section lead on everybody with only a few laps left. So I was just trying to focus myself in, put in some solid laps, and not crash. And I felt like as the race went on longer, as the ruts formed better, I actually got more comfortable. this section right here, that inside rut, was like the only spot I didn't really feel like I was improving in. But almost every other corner, I felt like I was adapting to the road pretty well and was able to use it to my advantage, which is something I also needed to work on. Like I said, I didn't really have a whole lot of practice with the road. But as I've been racing and riding more, I'm getting more used to that new setup, and I feel like it's really been a good help. It's allowed me to be more consistent, especially in races, even though I'm kind of being crappy right there. But I was able to still hit my line here pretty smooth. Now, this rhythm was actually tricky because if you hit it perfect, you can do a quad, but I obviously wasn't going to try that. But at this point of the race, I was almost falling apart. I was like, I need to hold my act together here. It's like I need to avoid looking at the time as long as possible, because I feel like as soon as I'm in a spot and I'm settled where I am, I'm like, alright, I'm happy with this spot. I stop focusing on moving forward and I just focus on making it to the finish line. And I don't ride as well when I do that, so it's kind of like just staying focused on what's ahead of you, kind of like you have to in real life. You know, you can't move forward by looking backwards. So at this point, it should be 2 to go, and there was somebody right on me. It was actually a lapped rider, I believe, and I knew it was a lapped rider. So I think he passed me at some point. I made a mistake. We'll find out here shortly. I haven't watched the demo back. This is the first time I've watched it back all the way. So yeah, I'm really excited for the Supercross season to start this year. Oh yeah, it crashed right there. There's only going to be one more episode of this, I believe, and it's just going to be me kind of talking while playing again, and like see how I feel compared to when I started this series, and if I feel like I'm actually going to be able to fulfill the goals that I have. So I have a track picked out for that. Yeah, that was, I think that was Nick Thomasounis. It's a local Michigan shredder, actually. I've rode with him a couple times in real life. It was kind of funny. I lapped him in the 250 main, and then in the open main he lapped me, so we kind of swapped results like that. But yes, I'll do one more episode on just a fun Supercross track that I've been playing, and then it'll be time for Anaheim 1. It's kind of crazy. It's snuck up on us this quick. I'm super excited for the real life racing. I can't wait to watch. It's been months since we've had professional racing to watch, so I can't wait to see it again. It's always like that dry spell where you have to go back and find the old races to watch, and so I've been kind of listening to some podcasts and stuff like that just to get my fill of moto. So you can see 19th actually got lapped twice, and then 6th place actually did get lapped. So I was guaranteed 5th place, and once I realized that, I just tried to like turn in a really fast lap to maybe try to get 4th. And I was actually riding really good, like hitting my lines, and then I kind of messed up there. I was like, well, alright, I guess I'll just bring it home. I think I might have made another mistake. I can't remember. That rut was actually getting pretty sweet to try to hook into as the road got better. I love how the ruts form. The berms, they just kind of get a groove in them that everybody goes into, but the ruts actually form into something pretty sweet. That's Mr. Tyler Lang there on number 5 going flipping. He had a rough moto. Yeah, I can't believe people are turning like 113s. So yeah, it's a 5th place finish. Pretty solid race for me. I was really happy with that result. So thank you guys for joining me for this video. Look for the last episode of the series, episode 5, coming out probably in about a week or so. So thank you guys so much for checking it out, and we'll see you in the next video.